Hi everybody, how's everybody doing? I've just moved all my gear up to the loft, got a lot more room now, and I've put an aerial camera up here so when I'm doing some weights I can see myself bench pressing. Anyway, 1 Timothy 4:8. Bodily training is beneficial for little. Did you ever notice when that talk was being given from the podium, from the platform, it was always by some skinny brother with no physique, who really didn't care for any exercise. Now they do say it's beneficial for little. They're not saying it's completely out of the question. They're just saying it's for little. And it's not to be overdone. Because they're trying to put emphasis on spiritual things, like reading the Bible and building up that relationship with God. They say that that's where the real value is, and not on toning your body, making yourself more attractive to the opposite sex. Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with bodily training. I never have. I've never been a fantastic runner. I mean, I have done a marathon, well, a half marathon. Big difference between a half and a full. No, it was only a half marathon, and I'll never do another one. It's just, don't have that kind of endurance to keep going, plodding mile after mile after mile. But there's another type of training that I do enjoy, and that's cardiovascular stuff. You know, core exercises, tightening up the stomach and curling and benching and that kind of thing. I can't see anything wrong with it. But I've got a bit of advice for Gary Broix. He's the one that gave out the last talk on masturbation. Instead of chastising them, the new recruits, the new Bethelite recruits, why not give them a gym membership? Wouldn't that have been so much more helpful than telling them that they're in danger of staying in their relationship with Jehovah if they resort to self-abuse? I mean, come on, they are a multi-billion-pound corporation. Why not have their own gym? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but does the new headquarters have their own gym? I'm presuming it doesn't. Otherwise, it would be, I suppose, quite hypocritical, wouldn't it? In view of stressing about this bodily training. But wouldn't that have been so much more helpful to the new recruits? When they came in, they'd be given their gym membership by one of the helpers, and they can use that gym 24/7. And really, by training the body, everything else would follow. I've always found this, that if you keep yourself physically fit, it automatically transfers into the mind. It is always a mindset regarding anything to do with physical training. The two for me come hand in hand. So I can't discount bodily training as little. I would say that it is quite important, and especially when you're growing up, you've got all that pent up energy that all youths have. And rather than, you know, lying there in frustration in the Bethel Hall at Warwick, why not take all that energy out in the gym, or go for a walk, or go for a run, and expend all that energy? Then after that, come back and do your study. Why not encourage the new Bethelites to do that instead of looking at a scripture and bashing them to the ground? Because it's not very helpful. Having been through a similar situation where I've had to listen to elders one after the other who were married, so they're in comfortable, normal, happy relationships, and they have just bashed all the single brothers. Now, it does get you down. Oh, well, I've never gone to Bethel. Didn't want to. Opportunities there, but just never liked the idea of mixing in dormitories, that kind of style. It just wasn't for me, that. I'm just offering a bit of advice anyway. They don't have to take this advice. They can do what they want. It's their bethelite organisation. They can do what they like with them. They can run them into the ground. They can keep them as personal slaves. And then they can just wring them out when they've had enough of them. Just get rid of them. No room for you now. You're going to have to move out. Ah, but Mr. Morris, I haven't got a career. I never pursued an education. It's not my problem. Your use has all been used up. We have no further need of your services. And you're not even getting a reference. So you can't go to another employer because we're not even going to give you a reference. So it was nice knowing you, but goodbye. Doesn't it make you sick? And doesn't it make you angry? So angry that sometimes you do feel like, when you see them on the carts, letting out a stream of expletives to them. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to lower myself and do that. I'm going to leave that to others, because others are much better at bashing the carts than I am. I don't think I'll ever go bashing carts. It's just not my thing, that. Right, have a bit of a... Yeah, banged my head there, that bloody hurt. Okay, press for 10. Bodily training, Bethelite recruits. That will stop you wanting to masturbate in the evening times, won't it? The boxing gloves and the exercise. That's it, I've sorted you. You don't need to go elsewhere now. Just follow this therapy and you'll be fine. Cheers. Again I say, adios amigos. I haven't got the accent right. Need to practice that accent.